All right, people. Um, I've been debating about this little Trump thing for a while on Facebook, which this will be posted on Facebook and YouTube. Um, my thoughts about this, man, is not really a thought. It's actually a factual thing, a question that I've been asking, and it's to the actions specifically to my African American people, and the actions thereof of saying the things that you say, displaying the emotions and everything that you're displaying over something that hasn't even been proven to be true. And the very words that were used and the terms that they accused this man of are the very things and the words that they were using to define their position on this thing. And after I did the study on this myself and did the research, finding out that they have no proof that he said any of this, even though the questions were asked. There were questions. So some people say he did, some people say he didn't. But my question is, where's the proof? If he did, where's the proof? That's all I'm saying. So I only react to something that is true, that is factual. If it has no truth or any body to it, I won't sit back and start acting and saying things about an individual due to my personal belief of it being a possibility. Just because we believe something doesn't mean that we know it for a fact. And if we don't know it for a fact, then what gives us the right to discredit the source in which we have yet to know or get the truth about whether that source actually did, said, acted in that way that everybody else is accusing or alleging them of. The reason I'm putting this out there is because I've said it for a long time now, and I'll continue to say it, is that the African American community is still asleep. You're not awake. You claim you are, but yet still you fall into the same things. You fall into the same patterns of actions and feelings and emotions and speech that you always do. And the people, the Democratic Party, who have you under their thumb, already know. They knew and they know how you're going to react to these things. So if you're still wondering whether or not slavery is still real, yes, it's very real, and yes, it's very alive. But understand that you give power to that. You give power to that by your actions and by the things that you do. And yes, the same party that you claim is backing you and protecting your rights with the NAACP and all these other people, they're playing you. They're playing you for a complete fool. And no, I'm not going and saying be a Republican and vote Republican. What I am saying is that the people that you think have your best interest in mind are the people that are playing your face. They sit there on the news and they use this term over 4,000 plus times in the first 6 hours of the story airing. Now they use that term and describe this with those African countries. But yet and still, they have no proof that the president did so. But they can use those same terms and put it in your face all day long. And you question not about their intent to be able to freely use those terms as they did. So if the president says something, now it's okay for everybody else just to say it? Or if it's alleged that the president said something, now it's okay for them to refer to it and continue to use it, even if it offends you? But my problem is that you won't speak to the people who are using this offensive term. But you will blame one man. You will blame one man that has not been proven to use this term for the same exact thing. It's butt backwards, people. African American people here in America, black people in America, it is butt backwards, and you're falling for every bit of it. Understand they do this to get your attention. They get you to do this to go along with the narrative. You're going along with their plans. They want you to believe that this man is racist. I have never seen anything racist from this man. And all those pictures and everything they put up with him with the KKK and all this other stuff, I understand that all that stuff was photoshopped. Everything about it was photoshopped. But it's the fact that you guys are that gullible, that weak, that vulnerable, that you believe anything that you see and hear without actually doing the research and digging in and finding out the truth. At the same time all this stuff was happening, the man sat in that Oval Office and made one of our black monarchs, one of our black patriarchs, made his day and his birthday an official national federal holiday, which it has never been done before. The question I have to you as African Americans and black folk in America is that whole 8 years that black president was in office, when did he ever think to do this? When did he ever run across doing it? He didn't. Yet and still, he did everything to destroy your freedom of speech. He did everything to destroy your constitutional amendments and your rights. But it was the fact that it was a black man that you related to him because of his skin color. No matter what he did, that was wrong. So it goes back into the whole thing, just like in the hood, no snitch policy, right? If it looked like us, if it walked like us, if it talked like us, if it speak like us, then it's all good. That is the brainwashing that I was talking about from your own people. That you keep pointing the finger in the other direction saying, oh, it's the white man this and the white man that. The white man did not get you to this point. You got you to this point. And while you have a man that's sitting here in this office right now who's doing everything to give you the rights, the freedom, and everything else that you've been asking for, and to do everything for you that you expected from that other man, you choose to stick with the narrative of this false character that they're painting out this picture for you, to believe every and anything that they tell you about him without actually knowing him and watching and looking at the things he's actually doing. You're just waiting for the next news story to pop up. You're just waiting for the next foul thing about him to pop up so you can start talking about it and bashing him because you don't want another white man in office. Or you want to do what the white people did to that black president. You want to bash the white president now because the white people did it to the black president, right? The race baiting game has played well in the favor of the powers that be. And those powers reside strongly with the Democratic Party and with the government overall. Like I said before, the reason they are putting all this stuff out here about this president now is because he wasn't one that was on their planner. He wasn't in their planner list. They didn't expect him to receive that office. But he called out enough things and he made it clear about what goes on with that process that they had to make your vote count this time. They had to, because he called them out. But like I said before, all that money that you guys are throwing away when they have presidential campaigns and everything else, and they're spending tax dollars that you are paying for in your hard-earned working money that you pay up to the government. They use all this for their personal campaigns for you to go back and validate your input as a donation by registering. But yet still, President Trump funded himself and gave you a fair shake at your vote without taking your money, but using the money of his friends and the close ones that were wealthy enough to support him. So I don't understand you guys' aim at this man at all. I don't. And yes, I am a black man saying this because I see what's going on. I see what's going on behind the smoke and mirrors. And you people are playing the fools. You are being the very sheep to the government and to these people that we've been warning about all these years. It's funny how Malcolm X put all this stuff out here and y'all didn't hear nothing. It's funny how Dr. King spoke about this and preached about this and y'all didn't hear nothing. You lazy. Let me go ahead and say that. You're lazy. You don't do the research. You don't want to read. You don't want to listen, and you don't want to pay attention until it's something that strikes your nerve. That I said, like I said before, that looks like you, sounds like you, talks like you, speaks like you. And if it pertains to that, then you're all in. But understand that everything that pertains to that thus far has been negative. When have they ever said anything positive for you to listen to? Oh, it ain't just about the president. I'm talking about anything positive, period. And those that do get on the news as a journalist or a reporter and actually do say something positive about it, actually do put out the truth about these things, they end up losing their job. Why is that? Oh, I understand why. Because they're not part of the agenda. They're going against the grain. They're actually telling the truth about something. But the media don't want you to know the truth. The government don't want you to know the truth. I don't know what else to do for you. I don't know what else to say to you. It's kind of obvious that those out here as African Americans who feel the same way that I do, who have the same mindset that I have, will never get the respect from the majority due to the fact that they're like birds of a feather that just flock together. If the majority is doing it, then I want to fit in too. I don't want to be the black ball. I don't want to be pointed out. I don't want to be the black sheep. So I'm just going to go alone. I'm going to just go with the motion. No matter what it costs me, no matter how it feels. I'm going to stand with my people, even if it's wrong, even if they don't even know what they're standing for. Just like now. You're putting out all this mean stuff, all this hatred, and you're talking all these bad things towards this man that you have no proof that he even said these things. Because it's okay, because everybody else is doing it, and they prompted you to do that. Understand that. You're going by the script that they're playing for you. You're the actors. They're providing you the script. That's why I said you're still slaves. You do everything they expect you to do. That's why they tell you this stuff. That's why they put it in your face. And all the time while I put it in your face, they're doing the very same thing that they're accusing another of. Just to sit back and laugh at you and see how ignorant you are to the fact that they can use the same terms over 4,000 some odd times. And you don't pick up on the aim and the angle in which they're telling you or coming at you. They're telling you to your face, you're a fool, you're stupid, and we can tell you anything we want to and make you act any way we want to. As long as we plant it and put blame on something that you can relate to. But we will sit back and we will do the exact same thing to you, and you won't budge because you know not to. They're your slave masters because you allow them to be. In other words, just like the slave masters back in the days, they tell you to do certain things and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. But nobody else can tell you those same things. That slave owner owned you. What he said went. It don't matter if he called you a nigger or a negro or whatever it may have been. He might get offended if another slave owner comes up and calls you that, even though they're related to it in the same term. But it was his slaves. Understand that. So what the media is saying is that you're our slaves. Yeah, we'll get pissed off if your president say it. We'll play like we're pissed off. But it's all part of a business. That's how we work. But we get to call you that whenever we get ready. We get to say this about your people and your homeland and your culture whenever we get ready. And you won't know the difference. I ask this, to blame the man for something that you don't know whether he said or not. But is your belief valid enough for your actions to be what they are? And in correlation to that, the same question went in when I asked, if that be the case, then do you know Jesus? Or is your belief in Jesus enough to get you to heaven? Would you put yourself on that pedestal and do all these things in your life on a mere belief that you're gaining something without getting to know it? Without knowing for a fact that it's sealed? That's the problem with our religion. It's the problem with most of the people in the church. They believe, but they don't know. They believe anything that the pastor tells them, but they won't look at it for themselves. They won't go back and look into the Bible and see what the Bible actually is saying about it. Sometimes the pastor sit up there and bold-faced lie to you and know he's lying because they got a purpose and an agenda to run a business that they're running to get your money. That's why you're in church every Sunday. That's why they got a thing called religion. That's why they got denominations. But y'all believe anything they say, any way they put it to you, without going to get the facts and the truth from the very book that they're reading from. Because you're lazy. You don't care for yourself enough to find out what's real and what's not. Your fault, your flaw. I can only hope that you all start to do better and start to find something within your life worth living for, other than basing all your actions, all your emotions, your soul being off of lies. This is what will get you to hell quicker than anything. I think it's time for a lot of us, African American and black folk, to sit back and really start doing some reevaluating and actually start waking up to what's going on. Quit claiming that you're awake because it's cool to claim such a thing. Because it was cool for you to follow the crowd. Now you're looking like a dummy. A lot of people don't agree with me, and I'm set apart from a lot of you. But that's fine with me. I know I'm all right. What about you?